There are many UFC fighters who break the rules and do dirty stuff in the octagon. Some take steroids, do eye pokes, low blows, and hitting their opponents after the bell. And if you're John Jones, you do all of them. But someone who consistently breaks the rules almost every time they step into the octagon is Michael Chandler. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the times Michael Chandler cheated and just did dirty stuff in the octagon, and how he keeps getting away with it. And we'll even talk about all the privileges he gets from Dana White, or as Tony Ferguson likes to say it,
I want to be real. You got this shit handed to you. You got Dana White privilege. Tony.
But before we start, I just want to say that even though he's a very dirty fighter, I actually like Michael Chandler. He seems like a good guy outside of the octagon, and he always gives us entertaining fights no matter who he's fighting. He's a do-or-die type of fighter, and we need more of those in the UFC. Also, let me know what you guys think about Michael Chandler down in the comments below. Let's start off with Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier. In this fight, Chandler cheats a lot. In the first round, he headbutts Dustin, and it actually hurts Dustin so much that he almost gets finished right after. But I'll give Chandler the benefit of the doubt and say that this was actually an accident, unlike the stuff he does in the future. And then in round 2, Michael Chandler hits Dustin multiple times in the back of the head, and it even stops the action briefly as they both look and talk to the referee about it. There's also another moment in round 2 where Dustin throws up a triangle attempt and Chandler purposely blows blood into Dustin's face just to get out of it. And then again in round 2, when Michael Chandler is on top of Dustin, he tries to fishhook Dustin's mouth just to get the rear naked choke on him. And if you don't know what fishhooking is, then it's when your opponent will stick their fingers in your mouth just to lift up your head, so then they can just choke you easier. And during a podcast, Dustin even said that when Michael Chandler sticked his fingers in his mouth, he bit down so hard that if he didn't have a mouthpiece on, he would have bit his fingers off. Now, if you're thinking, oh well, they're fighting, maybe that was just an accident, then here's what Dustin had to say about the entire situation.
And I told him he's a dirty motherfucker too, for putting his fingers in my mouth and blowing his nose, and it's all good.
When Michael was here earlier, he did say he kind of apologized, getting the fingers, said it was unintentional, what have you.
It was definitely intentional.
And in a different interview, Dustin says he isn't actually mad at Michael Chandler for spitting blood into his face, since Dustin actually did that to someone earlier in his career. He's more mad that Michael Chandler says it was on accident, even though it was very clearly on purpose. And considering Chandler breaks the rules and does something dirty almost every fight, I think it's safe to assume that Michael Chandler knows exactly what he's doing majority of the time. Now let's talk about Michael Chandler's fight with Justin Gaethje. And in this fight, Chandler actually didn't do a lot of dirty stuff, but at the end of round 2, he does punch Justin and then immediately eye poke him right after. And in most fights, when the fighter realizes they just poked their opponent in the eye, they usually stop and apologize. But Chandler is not like most fighters. Instead of stopping, Chandler rushes towards Justin Gaethje just to get one more clean shot in before the ref stops it. Again, well, maybe the eye poke wasn't intentional, but the thing is, there are many fighters who haven't eye poked anyone in their entire career. It's usually all just the same fighters who do it. And they do it because they know if they act like it was an accident, they can do it 1 or 2 more times before the ref will actually do anything, since cheating is practically legal in the UFC. Don't believe me? Well, here's a video of a UFC veteran, Jim Miller, talking about it.
You want to know a secret? I've got hours inside the octagon wearing these gloves. It's not the gloves. Look, I can close my fist. I can bend the ends of my fingers without the glove even moving. So if it was the glove that held my hand open, I could still go like that. But like most of these eye pokes, it's like that. My hand's not getting held open like that. Are you fucking kidding me? What causes the eye pokes is that little bitch inside that's like being passive and avoiding the fight and not being aggressive. And that little voice needs to get punished by an immediate point being taken away, and in my opinion, a portion of the purse. And then I think you would see him stop real quick, because it's not the gloves.
So even Jim Miller says that most of the time it's on purpose, and he has the record for most UFC fights, so if anyone knows, I think it's him. I'm sure on some occasions the eye pokes do happen on accident, but rarely, maybe like 2 out of 10 times. And now let's talk about the most recent fight that Michael Chandler has had, his rematch with Charles Oliveira. Throughout the entire fight, Michael Chandler is constantly poking Charles in the eye, grabbing the cage to try and stop takedowns, grabbing Oliveira's glove so he doesn't get submitted, and the most famous one, hitting Oliveira in the back of the head like 10 times in a row. And he even tries to gaslight us into thinking he didn't hit Charles in the back of the head, when it's clear like 10 out of those 20 shots were in the back of the head. Also, I rewatched this fight a couple of days ago, and people are saying that in round 5, Chandler wobbled Oliveira and hurt him really bad with that one good punch, but I'm not sure that actually hurt Charles that much, because when you watch it back, you can see Chandler poke Oliveira's eye right after the punch, and that's what caused Oliveira to start walking back, because he couldn't see it out of that one eye. He just went full Michael Bisping mode on us. But who knows, maybe that punch actually did hurt Oliveira really bad, and that's why he started walking away from Chandler. And there was just a lot of times where Oliveira would get poked in the eye, and then look towards the ref and be like, are you going to stop it? But then the ref just didn't do anything, and then Oliveira just had to look over at Michael Chandler running towards him. That happened like 3 times in the entire fight. Now you might be thinking, how does Michael Chandler cheat this many times and get away with it every time? Well, I've always imagined Chandler to be Dana White's little bulldog. He just does everything Dana White says, and Chandler is also a very charismatic guy, so I'm sure Dana just likes him a lot. I mean, like, come on, did you hear Dana White's laugh when Tony Ferguson called out the Dana White privilege?
Tony. Thanks, Dana.
And for the Charles Oliveira fight, the UFC definitely wanted Chandler to win, just so they could have someone new for Islam to fight, so that's why the ref was letting everything slip by. And if you still don't believe in Dana White privilege for Chandler, then let's just very quickly look at Chandler's entire UFC career. His UFC debut is against Dan Hooker, which he knocks him out in the first round, which isn't bad. He was a Bellator champion, so of course he's going to get someone high ranked. But the most insane part about this is that he gets a title shot straight after knocking out Dan Hooker, even when there was multiple people in that division who deserved the title shot way more than Michael Chandler. So he fights Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight belt and loses, and then he fights Justin Gaethje and loses. Then he brutally knocks out Tony Ferguson, and then goes on to get submitted by Dustin Poirier. Then he waits 2.5 years for Conor McGregor to come back, which he never does, and let's be honest, Conor McGregor is never fighting again. The only chance of him fighting again was at the UFC 303 card, and that fell through. So, he's never coming back. So after the 2 years of waiting, Chandler finally decides to fight again, and he gets put straight into a rematch with Charles Oliveira, and the UFC literally told Michael Chandler that if he beat Oliveira, he would go straight into another title shot. After waiting 2 years, coming off of a loss, and beating Oliveira, he would get a shot at the belt to fight Islam. Isn't that insane? And now finally he's getting put up against someone who isn't in the top 5, Paddy Pimblett. And let's just be real for 2 seconds. If Michael Chandler beats Paddy Pimblett, he's realistically only like 1 fight away before they say, oh yeah, he's getting the next title shot. It's just gonna happen if he wins those 2 next fights. It's gonna happen. He's been fighting people above him in the rankings up until now, and he's 2-4 in the UFC. Now lastly, let's talk about what all of Michael Chandler's opponents think of him. I think Charles Oliveira respects Chandler. I don't know, it's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English, but he is open and acknowledges that Michael Chandler is a very dirty fighter. Dustin just straight up does not like Chandler. He calls him a dirty fighter and fake almost every time someone brings him up in front of him, and Dustin has good reasons not to like him. Chandler cheated a lot in their fight and was given a title shot when he clearly didn't deserve it. And lastly, Justin Gaethje also doesn't like him, but he's never flat out gave us a reason on why, except for this one clip.
Decided again to fight someone that I don't like. It's been a while. I have no reason not to like you, but something about your face just makes me want to.
I can't. But I'm assuming it's for the same reasons Dustin doesn't like him, or it could even be that Justin and Dustin respect each other a lot, so if Dustin doesn't like Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje will just automatically say that he doesn't like him just out of respect for Dustin. And that's pretty much everything about Michael Chandler that has to do with the UFC. I practically just gave you guys a full recap of his entire career, talked about every time he cheated, all the dirty stuff he's done, and just a full-on recap practically. I didn't really mean for this video to be that, but hey, I guess it is. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this. And if you guys want to see a video on me ranking every single current UFC champion on how entertaining they are, click the video above. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.